Of a very long-winded preacher. We frequently had 2-hour-long sermons, so I hope I don't take after him. I'm Kevin Larson. I'm 35 years old. I have 2 children. I'm a single father, Caitlin and Benjamin. They're teenagers. Yes, I look young for my age. People's Party of Canada, we're a relatively new party, newest party on the ballot this election. Most people still liken us to the Conservative Party, where about half our members come from, but we are different parties. We have different platforms, and we have different values and goals for this upcoming election. And so I'm going to talk about a few of them because I think that's the biggest thing that will change people's mind from voting for Brandon to vote for me. The Conservatives want to have the immigration coming into our country down to 250,000 a year. We want a complete halt on that until our housing situation improves. You can't let the water keep running when it's overflowing and expect it to get better. We'll refocus on bringing in skilled immigrants once Canada has settled things down and our services and healthcare are no longer overburdened. We'll repeal all carbon tax laws, but beyond that, we'll actually not give tax dollars for green initiatives. This is a tax by another name. If you take tax dollars and you give them to someone, those dollars are coming out of taxpayers' money. We'll abolish the capital gains tax completely without stipulations. We won't say what you have to do with your money. You will be free to do with it as you please. We'll make it easier for private healthcare facilities to be established in Canada. We have among the worst healthcare system in the Western world, and systems that have adopted a good blend of private and universal are doing a lot better than us. We often are rich and are wealthy, often fly to these countries for proper healthcare in a timely manner because they can't get it here. And so we want to open that up to everyone. We'll downside the federal government. This will reduce our spending, but also the bureaucracy that is in many of our day-to-day lives. Pretty much if a local or provincial government is dealing with something, the federal government doesn't need to be there as well. If they want to ask for help, that's one thing, but we shouldn't be there saying you have to use us, you have to do what we say, when it should be a local matter. We'll eliminate corporate welfare, something that we do agree on with the Conservatives. The CBC, we would eliminate their funding, but every other business that requires the government to stay afloat, if your private business does poorly, you don't get to stay afloat. You have to manage it well, you have to do it well. Everywhere across the world, they're able to have news organizations that run effectively, efficiency, and most of them do it by promoting the news, reporting the news, and not whatever you would call is on the CBC these days. We'll simplify the tax system and roll back taxes based on as our spending and our debt decreases. We're the only party that actually has a realistic plan of tax cuts. We're not just promising tax cuts, saying that, hey, we can cut your taxes, it'll be cheaper, but we'll actually show you the spending we're cutting to afford that. If we just cut taxes without cutting spending, all we're doing is kicking debt down the road to our children and our grandchildren. And so we will do a mindful of our spending as well as tax cuts. The goal would be a flat income tax of 15%, but it will not be something we do immediately because of we need to balance the budget first. We'll repeal Bill C-4. This passed without any opposition. This bill does not allow parents, religious leaders, therapists, or counselors from helping those struggling with dysphoria to learn to accept themselves as they are. We'll protect your right to defend yourself and others and your property. And if you're ever in an unfortunate situation of having to use force against a criminal, you will never be detained, face charges, or a civil lawsuit. The burden of proof should be on the justice system that you used excessive force. Currently, it is your burden to show that you had to defend yourself. This is backwards. You are innocent until proven guilty. We just had that situation in McGregor where 3 farms had armed people with rifles show up, and how tragic it would have been if one of those people had to defend themselves and then were facing charges and legal, long, costly battles that we've seen in their country. In addition, with safety and defending yourself, pepper spray will be made legal because it's a sad fact, but crime, especially against women, is increasing in Canada, and they should have the right to defend themselves. We'll end supply management. This will end price fixing. It'll end the wasteful practice of quotas that are forcing up to 30 million liters of milk a year be dumped out because they are over quota. Imagine how much cheaper it would be with that much more milk on the market. This will drive down costs and allow dairy farmers to expand their herds as they wish. They won't have to, more cows means more milk, and they'd be able to do that freely. Canada is also the only democracy in the world without any abortion restrictions, and it's time we change that and join the civilized world and restrict it properly. We'll not only repeal Bill 21 and C-71 like the Conservatives have committed to, but we'll commit to lifting the handgun freeze, allowing lawful gun owners who are the safest, most vetted people in the country the ability to continue sport and target shooting. As a gun owner myself, I get a background check run on me every single day. Not many people know that. And across the country, we are safer than school teachers or public servants as far as committing violent crimes. So why are we restricted? We'll rework programs for veterans, simplifying it so that programs that they need can easily be found and accessible. We'll re-emphasize the legislative guarantee that benefit of the doubt standard under the Pension Act. Your service-related illness or injury should not be your responsibility to prove that was caused by duty. And personally, I would push to put that on our emergency service workers and our police officers. I don't know if anyone's ever followed up with the Greyhound bus beheading, but I believe there's 3 or even 4 first responders that have taken their lives since that happened because they were denied access to mental health care, and I think that's a travesty. We'll protect freedom of speech and expression. We'll limit the ambiguous wording of hate speech, so it only includes speech that explicitly advocates violence against an identifiable group. And that are some of the difference that we have than the Conservatives. Many people that reach out to me haven't said they don't like our platform, they're just worried about Carney being elected, and I can understand that. We've had 9 years of just terrible policy that have brought us to our knees. But I encourage you to take a look at our riding voting record. We don't have to worry about that between Brendan and the PPC in the last 2 elections. You can cut the vote in half and then cut it again, and it's still going to be one of us getting in. There's no fear of vote split. You can freely vote your conscience and your values. The last difference I offer is the People's Party is the only party on the ballot that freely lets their candidates choose vote their conscience. All the other candidates will have to vote on party lines, so if something comes up that a party is pushing that goes against the people of Portage-Lisgar, I would be able to break free from the party, vote my conscience without reprimand from the party, unlike the other parties, but only gets to do that in special circumstances. Most of all, on April 28th, I hope everyone will take their family, friends, and coworkers and go vote. I think I speak for all the candidates here that we love if Portage-Lisgar had the highest voter turnout, because that's truly the only way we can make our voices known is by voting. And the non-voters are the highest group in our country, more than any political party. And if we can inspire any change we want, if everyone would show up and vote. Thank you.